Hey everybody, how's it going? I hope you're having a lovely morning. So today, myself and Mr. Clinton would like to go over this piece of... He literally showed up right on schedule. Can you believe that? That's like, he literally knows exactly when the video starts. He's so cute. You're a good Clinton. Anyway, so this is something I keep getting emailed, which is Apple hiking the price of the iPhone battery by $20. What do I think of this? It's probably going to disappoint most of you. I don't think that this is particularly that bad. When you look at what the price was before, it looks like they used to be $69. Now they're $89. That is an increase of approximately 30%, which is really kind of in line with the actual rate of inflation, not that BS they call the CPI. That's honestly not like the worst thing in the world. And when you consider that this phone is put together with some adhesive that makes it difficult to get the screen off and on because they're trying to make it more liquid resistant, and they are actually making it liquid resistant again. They're applying all the seals and everything in the Apple Store when you go there. Then the $89 for the battery is not the worst thing in the world, given the difficulty of opening the device without breaking the screen and the difficulty of making it liquid resistant again to the IP specification that it came with, which they are actually doing for the most part at the Apple Store. That this is not a horrible price. Now, again, the reason this is a shock for people is because the battery replacement for a very long time was $29, but that is something dating back to this article that I covered 5 years ago. No, Apple didn't just confirm planned obsolescence when they were slowing down older phones that had an older battery. I talked about that in this video here. Apple was slowing down phones that had a older battery because they didn't want the phone to shut down. Some people said that this was them trying to get people to buy new ones. I honestly think it was just them trying to avoid having to replace people's phones under this warranty program, iPhone 6s program for unexpected shutdown issues. This is, again, even if you had a new battery, to be clear, you could have a perfect battery and the iPhone 6s sometimes would just randomly shut down on you. They went so far as to release an actual warranty recall program where they would just give you another phone if you had a phone that was affected by this. This is no longer on Apple's website, so I will include an archive.org link below. You also had a different issue with the iPhone 6s and 6s Plus for no power issues. So back when this program came out, the iPhones that were popular at the time were plagued with these random shutdown issues that many other devices at the time that were produced by competent manufacturers were not experiencing. So there were a number of different reasons that led to this. As I said at the time, I think that if you were slowing down the device as a result of having an older battery, that's absolutely fine as long as you make a warning for the consumer. For Apple's MacBook products, if the battery requires service, they will give you a little warning in the upper right corner of your device. This would have been a nice thing to do for the user so that they don't believe their device is slow because of some unfixable flaw, but rather because they need to replace a $20 or $25 part inside the phone to make it work again. And there are people that said this has nothing to do with planned obsolescence, like this BGR report that I dug into 5 years ago. But then when you read Apple's own letter to their investors on their own website, it said that the reason that they were selling less iPhones was because there were many people taking advantage of reduced pricing for battery replacements. In other words, when people are actually able to make their old phone work, they're less likely to buy a new one. And that's pretty much on Apple's own website. So you can imagine that may have contributed to that at the time. What I found interesting is that during that period, you had a lot of people that were actually going to the Apple Store to get their battery replaced, even if they didn't need it, and to the point where the Apple Store was actually running out of their own batteries. This is from Business Insider. As Apple technicians inform customers their battery seems to be fine based on the test, many customers are interpreting it as a subtle discouragement from replacing their battery and are requesting the swap anyway. And why are they requesting the swap anyway? Because they don't believe the person at the Genius Bar, because they think the person at the Genius Bar is full of it, which is actually a really interesting cultural shift. Because as I said, when I started doing this in 2008, when I would explain something to a customer and they would say, well, the guy at the Genius told me that, my customers often believe the person at the Genius Bar over believing the independent. And now you fast forward 11 years to this article and people are actually requesting services that they literally didn't even need, and they're paying for them simply because they believe the person at the Genius Bar is lying to them about their battery after the trust that was lost in 2017 when Apple was slowing down people's phones without putting a notification up there. One of the things that I brought up in that video that I did is even if an older lithium-ion battery is going to cause these types of issues, it may not be able to put out the same peak power that it did before, which could cause the phone to die when it's down to 9% and you try to do something CPU intensive. This is something inherent to lithium-ion batteries in general, but also lithium-ion battery health monitoring is something that can be done very, very cheaply, and giving the customer an alert is fairly easy And as I've said, the iPhones of that time were not exactly the best. That's putting it lightly. So yeah, I honestly don't think that it's that bad. Again, the price of replacing a battery at $90 is still below that of many other Android devices where the manufacturer will charge you more money and it will take you more time. Again, many other Android device manufacturers do not have stores where you can walk in to get a same-day battery replacement, and they charge considerably more than Apple's $90 to do so. So I don't think this is a horrible bad thing. There's a lot of people saying that this is bad, that they increased the price of the battery by 10. Again, you're getting a liquid-proof seal reapplied to the phone. They're doing it in stores across the country, usually in an hour or less by appointment, with an OEM battery. Like that's not that bad. I don't know. I'm not mad at that. Am I mad at them slowing down the device without telling the customer? Absolutely. Am I mad that they just gaslight their customers and pretend that these random shutdown issues just don't exist until they get a class action lawsuit against them? Absolutely. And am I mad that through TechNet and everybody else that they effed up my New York State bill? 100%. That aggravates me. But this, I don't know. This is a nothing burger to me. I honestly don't. It's not a big deal. They raised their prices in line with inflation, which has been and they're seemingly at this point one of the last people to do so. I'm not bad at it. I don't think this is news. I genuinely don't care. That's about that. Sorry to disappoint you if you were looking for me to dig in Apple for raising the battery price by $20. And to be clear, there's a lot of stuff that Apple does where I do believe they are ripping the customer off. And I've gone over that in this channel many, many times. Well, again, if they're telling a customer that they need a $2,000 repair of their screen, their motherboard, their top case, and all this other stuff because they have a bent pin in a screen cable that most independent shops will replace for $75 to $200, yeah, that's bad. Them not making schematics, board views, everything else available, them telling the makers of the parts not to sell to us so that we can't do our job so that they can get a $1,500 repair rather than us being able to do it for $200 to $400. Yes, that sucks. But increasing the price of the battery by $20, again, I can tell from the tone of the emails that I have received that people are looking for me to be very, very outraged and mad at this. But I'm not. Just a nothing burger. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. That being said, since we have 2 minutes left in this video before we hit the 10-minute mark that many people say I am going out of my way to hit so that I can make that extra 15 cents in monetization, we're going to use those 2 minutes to pet the cat. Because as we all know, if the video gets to 10 minutes, if I let the video make its way to 10 minutes or more, that's how we all get rich. That's when we get the money printer. So we're going to pet the cat until this video hits 10 minutes. We're going to pet the cat. We're going to pet the kitty. Look at how cute he is. Look at him. He likes being pet and scratched behind the ears. Oh, he likes that. He likes that. What a good little kitty. What a good boy. Look at this cat. Look at this cat. He is so cute. Somebody was protesting me petting my cat. Can you believe that somebody protested me petting the cat in a previous video that I did? Why I was wrong about Fairphone? Lost me at feline adulation. Make a separate cat channel. To which I said, yes. This is the cat channel. This is the cat channel. Lastly, before I end the video, just a shout out to these Futo Opens the Public Repair workshops that we have going on here in Texas at my new store. These are hosted by the organization that I work for, Futo, graciously hosted by Aaron Wolf. These workshops allow you to work on your stuff. So we have a hot air station over here, we have a microscope over here, a soldering station, multimeter, power supply, and you can use this equipment to work on your projects. This guy had an original Xbox motherboard that he messed up, and I helped show him how to resolder everything so that it was put together proper. Somebody else had this little test project for school. Somebody else had an iPhone that they ripped a connector off of, and at the end of the video, they have a working iPhone, which was quite cool. Over here, you could see his volume button and the little rocker switch works again, which did not work before. So this is the idea behind this, is to get people excited to work on their stuff again and to give them the means and the tools and the mentorship to do so. When I was learning how to do this stuff, I was sitting in an office by myself until 3 or 4 in the morning with no help from anybody else, which is why it took me so long after I bought my equipment to actually get my first repair done, because I was banging my head against the wall by myself with nobody to help me. The idea here is if there are people to give you some basic tips, some little bit of mentoring here and there, and people to show you here's the proper equipment, here's how to use the proper equipment, and we can just kind of go back and forth with stuff like that, that maybe you will feel a little less intimidated to work on your own stuff. I cannot guarantee that you will leave with something that works. That is not what this is. People are bringing in breast pumps, car ECUs, all sorts of shit that I have never seen in my life that I have no idea how to work on. What I can guarantee is that you may just learn something. You may break something. May learn something. Freedom. That's it for today, and I will see you in the next video. Bye now.